We're going to name as many types of insurance as we can. The first one that can't think of a type of insurance has to buy lunch. Go.
Okay, deal. We just start?
Yeah.
Car. House.
Phone.
Identity theft.
Car.
You already said car.
All right, now explain the umbrella.
Okay, so yes, it is not leaking in the high today at all. But we are now, our next lesson, we're going to talk about insurance. Now, we know this one thrills you, and I know some of you guys out there are having to pay your own auto insurance. And so you know this is a significant, important lesson for life here. So the reason I'm sitting in an umbrella is insurance, doesn't matter which kind. Name some again.
Hand insurance.
Hand insurance.
Yeah, surgeons insure their hands. Basketball players.
Mariah Carey has
baseball
her,
players do their shoulders.
Mariah Carey has her voice, these things. What's this thing called?
Vocal cords.
Vocal cords.
Her voice cords.
Yes, her voice cords. She has
her
those
voice box.
Insured. Yeah, athletes insure body parts as well, stuff like that. So anyway, so it doesn't matter what kind of insurance. An umbrella. Oh, there's the bell. Do y'all miss school?
You guys can go on to your next class now.
Go to lunch now.
Stay right there. Don't go. So an insurance is much like an umbrella. If it were raining, which it's supposed to rain outside sometime today, then this umbrella protects me and it will keep me dry as I'm going from place to place. Although I'm not going anywhere because I'm quarantined. But the purpose of the umbrella is protection from the wind, rain. You've even seen people sit outside in the sun that hold an umbrella over them to keep the sun off of them. So an umbrella is protection. That is exactly what insurance is. Insurance is protection for all of these things that we just mentioned. Now, up here on the board, I'm going to get rid of the umbrella real quick. Up here we've got a lot of different insurance companies that you are probably familiar with. Geico and Progressive and Allstate and State Farm. You've probably heard of all of these names. USAA is military insurance. That one's even got a little umbrella on it. Look at that. Premier even has an umbrella for their icon. So all of these are various types. You've probably heard of lots of them. All right, Grady, you want to keep rolling?
We got this.
All right, so we're going to talk about a lot of different types of insurance, and we can just kind of go in order with this. Those of you that drive, it's a legal requirement to have auto insurance. Not so much for yourself, but for what you could do to other people. So,
and some of you know because you've done it.
Yeah.
Those of you, raise your hand right now if you've been in a wreck. Raise your hand right now if you got a speeding ticket. Okay, so this is for y'all. Here is my
You've never had a wreck or a speeding ticket?
I've never had
Busted.
No, I've never had a wreck. And the last speeding ticket I had, Colby was still in a car seat.
I bet you got out of it.
I did not. It was $134. I was so mad. Anyway, this is the insurance card. This says I'm with Horace Mann Insurance. And so you have to carry these when you drive. You need this on your person or in your car. So car insurance.
Yeah, so it's a legal requirement to have liability coverage. What that means is if you're liable for the accident, if it's your fault, your insurance will kick in. So I've got liability coverage and so should everybody else. That way, if it's your fault, your insurance will pay for it. If it's my fault, my insurance will pay for it. Full coverage means that if I wreck into somebody and they don't have insurance, my insurance will cover it as well. So,
Absolutely.
Usually you don't need full coverage unless you have a nicer vehicle. Otherwise, you're just going to be paying a lot of money.
Well, liability only fixes the other person's vehicle. Mm-hmm. So if you only have liability coverage and you get in a wreck and it totals yours, you're just done.
Yeah,
but it will cover
fault.
The other. Yeah. I would, in this day and age, I would highly, highly, highly recommend full coverage no matter what, unless you just got a $1,000 car. Because people sue for wrecks, and some of you know what I'm talking about. People sue. And rarely do people sue for less than $1 million anymore. So in this day and age where lawsuits are very much the norm, you need some good coverage. And you know what, too? The way cars are made now, you do just a little fender bender, and it can be $2,000 or $3,000. Or maybe a deer runs out and hits the side of your truck, Colby Griner. We won't mention any names. It did $3,600 worth of damage a few weeks ago.
Do you at least get to keep the deer, like meat afterwards?
Sadly, no. It was bad. So car insurance, you've got to have it. By law, you have got to have it. And you also want what's called uninsured motorist. Because let's suppose that Coley is driving around without insurance and he hits me and he has no insurance, then who's going to fix my car? Well, because I have uninsured motorist, it's going to cover. Most insurance companies also today will cover rental car insurance if you're out of a vehicle. They will also cover things like roadside assistance. If you break down, they'll come take care of you for that. So auto insurance, very, very, very important. And we'll talk about premiums and deductibles on that. Do we want to do that now or do we do that in a minute?
Oh, let's do it in a minute.
All right, we'll do that in a minute. Other types of insurance.
All right, a lot of people get health and life insurance mixed up. Health insurance, of course, is if you're alive and you get sick, you get hurt, you go to the doctor, you go to the hospital. Life insurance is if you pass away, a certain amount of money is left over for your survivor.
Life insurance is really death insurance. Yeah. It's not for you. It's for the people you leave behind. You really don't need life insurance until you have one of two things. Assets like a home or kids.
And so to put things into context, my wife has life insurance out on her, so if she were to pass away, I would get a certain amount of money. And the vice versa isn't true, though. If I were to die, we don't have life insurance on me. Yeah, and the reason for that is my wife can handle all of our bills, all of our finances on her own,
Right.
but we're not paying our bills with my teacher salary. So she, I need that money more than she would if we pass away. But then again, if we have kids, we probably both take out bigger policies.
Right.
That way the kids
I
are
have a
taken care of.
significant policy so that if I die, my kids that will have money to get them through college and get them started in life and pay off the house and stuff like that. So life insurance is very, very important.
Yeah, and so I think we can talk about the deductibles now. Yeah, so when we look at any kind of policy there, it's going to incorporate three main things. First off is the premium, what you're going to pay for every month. And that's going to directly tie in with what your risk is. So a lot of you that have gotten into wrecks or gotten speeding tickets, your car insurance is probably like $200 a month or more, incredibly expensive. Whereas for me, who hasn't gotten a speeding ticket or a wreck in 10 years, mine's like $70 or $60 or $70 a month.
There's just much more than that.
Yeah, because they're a high risk, right? You're
And
more
boys,
likely.
significantly more than girls. There are a lot of things with car. Let's talk about car insurance specifically because that's what affects you guys the most. With car insurance, the things that are going to affect your premium, and your premium is your
You pay that every
what you
month.
pay for the policy. And every policy is different, but if we're talking specifically about car insurance, some people pay monthly. I pay monthly. Some people pay quarterly or every 6 months. It's depending on how you set up your policy. Your premium is what you pay for it. What determines it specifically on cars are going to be the car itself, what type of car it is, how old it is, what the car is worth, your driving record, your wrecks and your tickets, or how clean they are, your gender. Guys, I'm sorry. Sicoli and I could be the same age on the same car, and his is going to be more expensive because statistically speaking, guys have more wrecks than girls do. I'm not saying that that's fair, but I'm saying that's how it is. So gender, your age, 21, your insurance will drop if you're clean. 25 is another magic number for it to drop. You get married, you get multiple cars. All of those things will drop your insurance premium. And interestingly enough, your credit score also filters into your insurance premium. So if you do not handle your money well, the insurance companies don't believe you will handle your driving well. So lots of things go into your premium. One big lie that is out there, or a myth, is that the color of the car affects your premium. Color of car does not affect premium. A red car is not more expensive. Now, a red car might get seen by the police quicker than another, might get you a ticket faster, but it doesn't affect the insurance premium.
Okay. Didn't know that.
Interesting. Yeah.
I always believe the myth. Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, so what we see here is a relationship. If you look at health insurance is a good example here. My wife and I have two different policies. I've got the bronze plan, she's got the silver plan. We pay a higher premium every month for her health insurance plan. And the reason that we do that is because she's allergic to like all antibiotics. So if she gets sick, it's super expensive. So it's a trade-off. We pay more per month, our premium is higher for her, but her deductible is lower. The deductible is what you've got to pay before your insurance kicks in. All right, and so for me, it's about $2,500. For her, it's about $1,500. So if we were both to get sick on January 1st, then I would have to pay $2,500 before my insurance is going to cover anything. But since she's got a better health insurance plan, we've got to pay less out of pocket before they start to cover her. So she meets her deductible every year because she gets sick, and when she gets sick, she gets really sick.
Absolutely. So, do you want to say hi, Mr. Hall? You can say hi to our Econ family out here. Mr. Hall.
What's up, Econ fam?
He's quarantined. You better get some Germans because we're all quarantined together here. All right. So, yeah, with you go back to car insurance for a moment. You have your premium that you pay, and then you have a deductible should something happen, like Colby hitting. Well, Colby didn't hit the deer hit Colby. And so when that happened, I had to pay the $1,000 out of pocket, and then the insurance company paid the other $2,600. I can set that $1,000. I can raise it up or I can lower it down. If I dropped my deductible to $500, so Colby, guess what would happen to my premium I pay on Colby?
What would that be?
Well, my premium right now that I pay on Colby is $143 a month. So if I dropped my $1,000 deductible to $500, what's going to happen to that $143 premium?
It's going to go up.
It's going to go up. So it's an inverse relationship between your premiums and your deductibles. And it goes back to how much risk you want to take, how much risk you're giving the insurance companies taking, and how much risk you are going to take as an individual. So that's one way you can get your insurance premiums down, but you better have that money in your savings account to cover that incident, because incidences are going to happen. People are going to have wrecks. People are going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. So that's just part of it. I also have, this is my health insurance card I have here, and then I also have dental insurance. So that way it covers my cleanings, it covers half of anything else that might happen, like cavities getting filled or stuff like that. Tons and tons and tons of different types of insurance out there. Homeowners insurance is probably another one we need to cover real quick. Sure, homeowners is just like car insurance, except it's for what can happen to your house. What can happen to somebody's house?
All right, so for mine, a lot of people don't understand that homeowners insurance and flood insurance are two different things.
Two separate things.
All right, so living on the coast, like I live in a mandatory flood zone. So if there was a flood, my homeowner's insurance would not cover it, but my flood insurance would. A lot of the county isn't in a mandatory flood zone though. So if it flooded, your house flooded, your homeowner's insurance isn't going to cover
If
it.
you have a pipe burst or the wash machine leaks or something, the hot water heater leaks or something like that, and there is water in your home, then your homeowners will typically cover that. But if it's rising water, like if you live near somewhere that typically floods, like we've got some neighborhoods near Brunswick High that do that, or if you're over in a flood zone area, you've got marshy areas near your neighborhood, that rising water is not covered. That has to come under flood insurance. Now, if a tree comes through your house through a hurricane, your homeowners would cover that. About 5 years ago, I guess, my mom and dad's house got struck by lightning and burned and did about $100,000 worth of damage to my parents' house. That was just out of the blue, just a lightning strike. So homeowners insurance is very, very, very important to have. And if you still have a mortgage on your house, it's required by the lender. Lenders will require it. Again, there's a deductible. So when mom and dad's house burned, there was a $5,000 deductible that they had to pay first, and then the insurance company covered the other $95,000.
And a lot of that's to stop you guys from doing what you do to your phones, which is whenever you want an upgrade, just smashing it on the ground and saying that it was an accident so you get a new one.
Yeah.
So no doing that with your house or your car.
Absolutely, yeah. You've got to have that shared responsibility or that shared liability. So insurance, super, super important. Anything that we left out of insurance? Is that it? All right. See you, Pirate Nation.
See you
Peace out.
guys.